Well, good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majewski back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Weather Studios with your winter weather update here on your January the 29th, 2026. Well, things are getting interesting hour by hour as we get closer and closer to this winter storm that we're expecting for this upcoming weekend. On top of the snow that's coming, we're going to have to deal with some bitterly cold temperatures as well. Now, if you're new here to our YouTube channel and you live anywhere here across North Georgia, let me introduce myself. I'm Meteorologist Greg Majewski, your trusted weather source here on a mission to build a 24-hour weather channel. So if you'd like to get this critical update, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future weather updates. Very important to do that. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this forecast here as we take a live look there at Brasstown Bald as we're looking at cloudy conditions here across North Georgia. A little filtered sunshine from time to time, and we'll probably see something similar as we go into tomorrow as well. And I promise you, this picture here is going to look a whole lot different come Sunday afternoon. Looking at Lake Lanier, looking at the cloudy skies, again, some of that filtered sunshine coming in as well here for today, but not looking too bad. Here is the latest on the latest winter storm watches that are currently out there. As you can kind of see, again, those areas there in blue, those are the areas in concern. And they did add a little more counties to this. Again, these counties were added here from this afternoon from this morning as it's kind of inched a little bit further to the west. And there's a reason for that. And we're going to show you there on the models here in just a second. Now, the radar is all clear. Don't have to worry about that. That's not a big deal here. And the satellite picture showing the dirty skies here across the area. And I expect we're going to see similar conditions here for tomorrow as well with some of the cloud cover. Looking at your regional radar, again, the temperature is definitely on the nippy side. We're in the upper 30s across North Georgia, some 40s. You see 45 down there in Atlanta. A lot of areas will be kind of topping out in the lower 40s today. We'll see similar conditions here for tomorrow. And then the temperatures are really going to crash and get colder as we go into your Saturday. On top of that, we're going to have to deal with the winds coming up as well. So that snow could be potentially whipped around. Whiteout conditions? It's possible if we get some heavy snow to set up right and we get that windy conditions in the area, that is definitely in the cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at the latest model data. Got a lot to break down in here for this update. So let's go ahead and look at the latest high resolution 3-kilometer NAM model. It takes out about 60 hours. Now we're looking okay for tomorrow. So anything you got to do for tomorrow if you want to get prepared for this storm, you're looking okay. Don't have to worry about that. We're looking good all day forward tomorrow. No issues there. All right, so looking quiet. Now, as we go into your Friday night, that's when we start to see some of the initial fringes coming in after midnight with some of the snow here starting to show its presence here up across the northern portions. So again, generally going to be on the light side, not going to really do a whole lot, at least not initially. So again, you see the snow is up here just a little bit coming in as we head toward the 1 o'clock hour. Now, as we continue to go forward, watch what happens. You'll see that darker blue. That's indications of the heavier snows coming down. So this is in response to this polar vortex low right there, that big cold core here. And we got this developing low here off the East Coast. So between the two of these, we're seeing that interaction between the two and that moisture being pulled back in across that colder air, and it's dumping it because that cold air cannot hold as much moisture as the mild air can, and it does favor the eastern zones here as far as the heavier snow is concerned. Now, as we go ahead and take a look at the American GFS model to compare this to, as we kind of zoom through this, again, a little bit further to the west, but you still generally in the same zones there, seeing the heavier snows there. The cold core coming over North Georgia there, going into your Saturday night. And look at the snows. Savannah, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, all getting snows out of this. Just amazing to see that. And that moves on off the seat. Here goes the Canadian model. You can take a look at this one as well as you look at this one coming on down. This one's a little more to the west. You see a little more snow activity here across Alabama, for example. But still, it does favor the heavier snows, again, across East Georgia. That's where I expect the heaviest snows to potentially be here. And this settles on out to sea. Again, same areas getting hit as this moves on out. So we got fairly good uniformity here with the model data. Here's the European model, and this one is also showing the same feature. Again, looking at the snows during the morning hours coming in across North Georgia, but it's a little more robust here with the heavier snow activity. I've noticed that. And when I show you the snow totals, you're going to see those and go, wow, we'll see. That's definitely on the upper end of the snow scale, and it's not what the official forecast is showing, but I do want to show that to you as this moves on through. Again, this is throughout the day. Look at the timing on this. So starting in the morning, going downhill throughout the day, and then as we head into the afternoon, things should begin to improve, but looking very cold. And those winds, oh man, they're going to drive down those wind chills something fierce as this clears on out going in towards Sunday. All right, let's look at the snowfall amounts. Let's show the state view here. Let me get into this. So here we go. Here's the state view. Again, looking at your snow totals here, it takes you up about 7 o'clock. Generally showing snow totals here, not overly bad. Not overly bad indeed. You're seeing a lot of areas there showing 2 to 3 inches generally into that zone. Not looking too bad, but you can deal with that, all right? Now this one is a little bit further to the east. You'll notice this is the rapid. These are both the high-resolution models I'm showing you here. So it's a little bit further to the east here, but you see, like there's a 7-inch there. There's one that's near 6 inches, and there's one that's 4. So it's kind of hinting at what the European is showing. I think it's kind of locking on what we sometimes refer to as a meso-low, kind of an upper-level disturbance. It's kind of riding between the polar vortex and that surface low, where it's going to enhance that snowfall in those zones. So you see this one. This is, again, the high-resolution model here showing this one. And then we're going to look at the European here, and look at this. Wow, just a bigger field here. Look at it. We've got 7 inches showing up here near Blairsville, 6.5 over near Toccoa, 5.5 over there near Gainesville. Look, here's one there almost near 8 over near Hartwell. So again, significantly more, and also see more back here toward Metro Atlanta. So it's a little bit more toward the west here on the European model. Again, this is the top end of the scale there. And then the GFS model, not as much, but again, favoring that easterly zone. So we got to work out the details here tomorrow as far as we know we're going to get snow. We know when it's going to happen. Now we got to figure out exactly what locations get it more than others. I still think this is a situation where some people are going to be disappointed and some people are going to go, wow, look at all the snow. It's going to be that kind of forecast setup here as we go throughout the day on Sunday. And we will be doing live coverage here, watching what goes on here throughout the entire storm. So let's go ahead and take a look at the one thing I do want. One more thing I want to point out here on the model data. I want to point out the winds. This is European winds showing wind gusts here by 3 in the afternoon with the snow still in the area, 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. And boy, is that going to make it feel miserable out there. So we got building wind with the snow. Not sure if we're going to be like a blizzard per se, but it's going to be quite windy and quite snowy out there. And then on top of that, when you factor in those feel-like temperatures, the apparent temperatures out there, wow. You see all that gray area? That, my friends, is below zero temperatures. -10, -3, -2, single digits by 3 in the afternoon. So even though the temperatures will be falling into the 20s, it's going to be bitterly cold with the wind chills, and that'll continue into Saturday night and Sunday morning. So those wind chills will get down below 10 below zero. So we do have a extreme cold weather watch out for that period. So I do expect some bitterly cold temperatures and feel like temperatures going to Sunday morning as well. So here's our forecast map here as we go ahead and watch this. Watch as I put this into motion. Watch that little timestamp there on top as we kind of go through this. Again, looking quiet for tomorrow. No problems for any prep for tomorrow. You're looking okay. Going into Friday night, things will begin to change as we watch the development of the storm going into your Saturday morning. Again, we're watching this inverted trough. You see the snows back here across North Georgia. The heaviest snows there in the real dark blue there across the Carolinas. And then we clear out on Sunday, but we're still going to have some residual wind around Sunday morning, so we're going to still have some very bitterly cold wind chills below zero. And if we get a snowpack on the ground, Sunday and Monday morning lows could be colder than what's advertised so far. Just want to throw that out there to you. All right, Monday, still looking cold, but we start to moderate on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, we may bring in a slight chance of rain, not snow. Hey, yes, making progress. Not rain on that one, and then we kind of cool down just a little bit behind that front going in toward your Thursday, all right? Let's go and look at your forecast here. A similar forecast we had today, kind of filtered sun and clouds, mostly cloudy to partly sunny, depending on where you're at. 43, 26 there in Gainesville. Again, morning lows, generally low to mid-20s, not any teens out there, and maybe even some upper 20s here and there. So, again, most areas, again, below freezing for tomorrow. Daytime highs, mostly here in the 40s for afternoon highs, as the winds will stay relatively calm. But going into Saturday morning and Saturday during the day, the winds are going to come up as that storm system develops, and we're going to have to deal with those very seriously low wind chills. Regionally looking like this: 33 in Nashville, 31 in Memphis, 53 in Columbus, 65 with sunshine down in Jacksonville. That's going to feel pretty good when we get that weather back here, and 50 in Columbia. Next 7 days, here we go. We got that high snow chance in the forecast. Again, you guys in the West, I want to be clear on this. You're not right now officially in the watch area, nor are you expecting a lot of snow right now as it stands, but your snow chances are going to be lower than what I'm showing here. This is kind of toward the Gainesville area, eastern part, 27, 25, and then that low temperature Sunday morning, like I said, it could potentially be a little bit colder than that if we get a snowpack on the ground across any part of North Georgia, especially if we get a surprise and it covers more areas there. Daytime highs might struggle to get to freezing on Sunday. We do recover going into Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday's actually getting closer to normal for a change, but then we kind of cool back down again going in toward your Thursday. So again, another winter storm, back-to-back weekends with winter storms, and I get to check the box on 2 of my October outlooks. Back in October, I posted on Facebook when we only had about 6,000 or 7,000 followers. I was predicting 1 ice storm and 1 winter storm for this winter. And I also said it was going to be a winter of extremes with the temperatures and severe weather. I checked the box on every last one of those. So it's good as a forecaster to know that what I was seeing from the big picture are starting to line up. But I know folks are getting a little tired of the winter weather. And hopefully, as we get into February, we'll see a little more milder temperatures moving back into the area. Again, I appreciate you guys checking this out. If you're new here to the channel, once again, my personal invitation to you to please become a subscriber as we finally found our audience here on YouTube, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future forecast updates. All right, you guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next report. Until then, you guys have a great day. Bye.